Hello and welcome. You're watching Digital Disruptors. I am Kalpana Singhal, Editor-in-Chief CXO TV, and we have Umesh Moolchandani, Group Head IT of the Dasmal Group as our guest today. Hello and a warm welcome to you, Umesh.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
All right. So, Umesh, what are your roles and responsibilities as the Group Head of IT of the Dasmal Group?
Well, I have been associated with Dasmal Group for last 4.5 years as Group IT Head. And some of my most important responsibilities include setting the objectives and strategies for IT department and IT team, and making sure that technological systems and procedures lead to the outcomes in line with the business goals. Establishing IT policies, roadmaps, and procedures, approving the IT architecture and managing vendor negotiations, selecting and implementing suitable technology to streamline the business operations and help optimize the maximum strategic benefits. Some of other responsibilities include designing and customizing the technological systems and platforms to improve customer experience. And now, in the recent past, it has been driving technological innovations by managing people, process, and technologies, arrangements, reducing the cost, governance, optimizing the risk, and managing the overall IT strategy. These are the most important responsibilities at Dasmal Group.
What are the key technology solutions used by the different entities in Dasmal Group, and what are their use cases?
Well, it has been a group of companies, and as a typical group of companies, the organization is using several different technologies. To name a few, like we are using email services on Microsoft Exchange servers platform. We are having our own on-premises data centers, which are having virtualization platforms with VMware and NetApp as storage. By reducing the physical footprints of the infrastructure. We have quite a few number of critical business applications ranging from ERP, CRM, and field service management. We are also using cloud infrastructure with infrastructure as a service and platform as a service with Oracle, and we are using backup and DL solutions. On the background, we are using database solutions with Oracle and Microsoft. So this is our spectrum of technological solutions.
And what about the security technologies?
For security, we are using our Fortinet firewalls on the edge network edge, and we are using Sophos antivirus platform for securing our endpoints with viruses, trojans, malwares, and even ransomwares.
Right. So what are the parameters CIOs should carefully investigate while choosing their IPs, UTM, DDoS, and web application firewall vendors?
We most notably take into account that their solutions are fit into our security design. Because as an organization, we deploy the solutions by keeping the security at design level itself. We don't patch up the systems. What are the various wide spectrum of solutions they provide? What are their standard parameters which can fit into our organization strategy for security?
Right. So how do you drive standardization both in terms of technology platforms as well as employee and cultural synergies within the group entities?
Standardization is a very important aspect in a big organization because nowadays in the digital world, business totally relies on the technology. Okay. And regardless of the size of the organization, there is a demand for IT ecosystem for being dependable, fit for purpose, and affordable. As the business is growing, there are various systems deployed, and the challenge is how to make these systems standardized. Okay, so our standardization strategy is focused on people, process, and technology in all three dimensions. So when we talk about the technology, we make sure that whatever systems we are using, whether it is end user computing, whether it is on the data center, those are having standard specifications, standard configurations. Whether it is ERP solution, whether it is our CRM solution, network architecture, those things we consider to include standardized parameters, so that it is very easy for us to reduce the procurement and operational cost. The management of IT becomes very streamlined. This architecture is very scalable when there is a standardization built into the architecture. There are faster deployments, and the system becomes more secure. So this is the technological aspect. When we deploy the solutions, we have to change some processes also, and we have to train the people also to maintain it, to operate these systems. So we take care of the standardization to that aspect also, so that people do understand across the board. They have the common platform to understand and to operate on. So that's why we are focusing more on the standardization.
And how are you meeting the challenges of change management?
We do regular trainings to the employees. We collaborate with the management because the change becomes very easy when it is driven from the top to bottom. So we talk to the management, we take their considerations, we create a strategy, how to bring on that change and what are the benefits. Those benefits are clearly conveyed to the management as well as to the users. Then we create a training program for senior level management also, as well as the people who are at the lower level who are operating the systems. So this regular training becomes very easy to bring into the change into the systems.
Right. With the pandemic, what kind of challenges construction industry, the sector was facing, and how digital technologies have been helping, of course, in the Dasmal group also, the different entities you have to tide over the current COVID crisis.
If you look at the pandemic, so the first and foremost requirement which started was the working from remote, work from home scenario. To have the capacity, to have the planning for all the employees, so that to have that kind of bandwidth available, so that people can work without having a major disruption into the business. If business goes down, then it won't help anyone. So everyone was facing the challenge to keep the show running. For that, we were quite lucky enough that before the pandemic itself, most of our important and critical services were already running on the cloud. So like our ERP, our CRM, our email services, they are already hosted on the cloud. So we took advantage of the cloud technologies during the pandemic. Also, we deployed secure VPN connections, but keeping in mind this maximum security, because as the pandemic went into the long-term scenario, the number of cyber attacks started more. So there should be a lot of consideration of security when providing that the environment to work from home. So we took care of that part. We took advantage of our cloud infrastructure and cloud strategy during that time.
Right. So how are you leveraging newer technologies like IIoT, RPA, predictive analytics, and augmented reality, virtual reality to enhance productivity?
In manufacturing industry, I believe IIoT and RPA have most important use cases, and they should use these technologies. Currently, we are evaluating the RPA technologies, and we are preparing the use cases, how these technologies can be incorporated into day-to-day operations, whether it is related to manufacturing, whether it is related to HR, finance. So I believe a lot of automation can be incorporated into the operations with these two technologies.
Right. So what measures should CIOs adopt to increase their customer centricity?
Well, definitely the time has changed, and the digital world demands a lot of change in the methods and mentality of the CIOs at the top. So the most important measures I do understand, which should be taken care, like they should use the maximum use of data. They should go towards creating a data-driven organization, provide the customers insights to the business leaders, department leaders, and business owners. That would help them to understand the customers better. They have better insights of the customers. They can use the technology. They can make certain decisions based on those insights. Secondly, the environment should be very agile, as we have now come to know that a very rigid environment will not help. It should be the industry, the environment is changing very fast. So there should be an agility in the environment to change as the business requirements get changed. Further to that, I would say that the silo systems into an organization should be broken because silos are becoming a barrier to adoption of the technology. So they should collaborate with the management, with the different silos, understand their requirements, understand what they need and what the customers, whether they are internal customers, external customers, what are their requirements, how technology can enhance their service to the customers. Across the board, they should adopt for the digital strategy, provide the new technologies which are more towards digital orientation, and use those new technologies across the board to help organization serve the customer in more better ways.
Right. So what kind of business continuity solutions and data analytics solutions you're using?
For data analytics, we are using Oracle-based OBI solution. We have a small data warehouse which is taking the data from different sources like our ERP, our CRM, and it is accumulated at one place, and from there we have created various dashboards for business users at different levels to understand the insight of those data. As far as business continuity is concerned, we are using business continuity at various levels. As I explained earlier, we have been using the cloud technology, and we have integrated this technology with our on-premise environment also. We are using backup solutions, and we are having multiple locations. So we have created a DR environment which is on our multiple locations, and our data is being replicated in those locations. So we are using Veeam-based solutions for our disaster recovery requirements.
Right. And what will be the IT priorities for 2021?
Well, 2021, the IT priorities will be, I would say that we have to improve upon more digitalization. We have to incorporate more digital technology. As I have already told you that we are currently evaluating RPA. So we are looking for more automation into our internal processes. As far as customers are concerned, we have to be prepared to serve them better, to enhance our services. So we are looking at the technologies which are having more of a digital content. We are looking into the possibilities of having more secure environment. Whatever technology we adopt, the security should be inbuilt when we are architecting that solution into our environment. So we do take care of these things whenever we adopt a new technology, and we are quite hopeful that in 2021 these will be our priorities.
Right. So COVID-19 has badly affected the construction industry, especially, and the hospitality also.
Yes.
What are your roadmap for this year, and how's the growth?
Most of our customer base is into this region, and we have seen that there is a lot of impact on this industry. But things are now moving slightly into a better direction than the previous year, and we are looking back to get the things to at least normalcy what they were pre-COVID environment. So that is our first challenge to bring the situation to that environment. But it all depends on the external factors also, how the construction industry reacts to the market when the things are little bit more opened up. Okay, second thing is that we are looking, as far as I know about our group, that there is a strong requirement for diversification. Do not depend on single industry. Okay, so that is one thing which I would see that would be a good takeaway from this situation. That diversification is the key. Whenever we are into a business environment, we should go for diversification so that only one single sector should not affect. So those are the areas which we are looking at to improve the things further for our business organization.
Right. So last but not the least, Umesh, how a CIO can make a place for himself in the boardroom?
CIO has to align more towards the business. They should have more business knowledge. They should not go away by keeping themselves limited to the technical jobs. Because in this digital world, all the hierarchy of the organization has been broken up. The departments, the silos are gone. There is a lot of digital content, and now the businesses are very much dependent on the technology. If the CIO does not have the knowledge, what are the business strategies, what are the goals they have set, how the CIO is going to help in achieving those goals. So the most important part is aligning to the business is very much required, having business knowledge, functional knowledge. Then I think that person would be better prepared to enter into the boardroom and have a proper and relevant conversation with other counterparts.
Right. It's far more than just keeping the lights on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Umesh. It was a complete pleasure interacting with you today, and really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for having me on this show, and I really appreciate your efforts. And you all please stay safe and keep healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please follow #DigitalDisruptors and stay tuned to our social media channels for more updates. Stay safe and take care.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.